today we will learn how to make the double crochet chainless foundation. Enjoy! With the double crochet chainless foundation, you save so much time and the finished work looks exactly like a traditional chain foundation with a double crochet on top of it. There's your chain and there's your double crochet. Normally what you would do when you start a project, you would take a chain foundation and you would work all your chains, how many ever your pattern says you need, and then you would chain 3 to turn, yarn over, and you will start with your first row. But what we are doing today is we are learning how to make this into one process. Instead of doing your chain foundation plus row 1, we are going to make our chain foundation plus a row 1 in one go. So instead of doing this in 2 processes, we are going to do it in one go so that we don't go through this whole process, which helps with your counting of your stitches. It helps with time. It's just so much more convenient. Once you start doing this, you will not go back. So this is what the chainless foundation looked like, and you absolutely can't tell the difference between the two. There's your chain and there's your double crochet. And this one was just so much easier, doing a chainless double crochet foundation. In order to do a double crochet chainless foundation, you start like normal with a slip knot on your hook. Then you make 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your turning chain normally for your double crochet is 3. 3 chains count as 1 double crochet normally. So you make the 3 chains for your turning plus 1 extra chain, which would be for your foundation. So say for example you make a half double crochet chainless foundation. You would make 3 chains at the beginning. 2 would be for your turning chain, which you normally have as a turning chain, and 1 for your foundation. If you were doing a single crochet, you would make 2 chains at the beginning, 1 for your turning chain and 1 for your foundation chain. So I have a link at the description box below for those videos. You can go and have a look for it. To do your half double crochet chainless foundation though, you yarn over like you normally do with your double crochet, and I always place my hook into that back loop of that first chain. So I skip my first 3 chains that I made, which is my turning chain, and I place my hook with my yarn over into that very first chain that I made, and I yarn over and I pull through that loop. Now I have 3 loops on my hook. Normally I would make a yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2 in order to make my double crochet, but I need to first make my chain stitch. So I yarn over and I pull through just that first loop that's on my hook. Now I have 3. There I have my chain stitch for my foundation and an incomplete double crochet. So I yarn over and I complete my double crochet. Now into that chain that I just made, right there, I'm going to place my hook in there. I yarn over and I place it into that chain that I just made. Pull through a loop. Now again, I have 3 loops on my hook. I need to yarn over and first make my chain stitch for my foundation. So there's my chain. I'm going to pinch that chain so that I can find it easily. Now I'm going to make my double crochet. I yarn over and I go into that last chain that I made. It takes a couple of stitches before you can see the effect, but I promise you it looks exactly the same at the end. I've pulled through my loop now. I yarn over and I make my chain foundation. There I've made my 1 chain. I have my 3 loops on the hook and I complete my double crochet. Now sometimes it's quite difficult to find that stitch, so I just mark it by placing my finger on it. But there's my chain that I made and I pull through a loop. Now I need to make my chain stitch before I make my double crochet. So there's my chain and there's my double crochet. Again, yarn over, I place it into that last chain that I made, pull up a loop, yarn over, make my chain stitch, and then my double crochet. So a way to remember it is just chain stitch first, place into that circle, there, pull up a loop, make my chain first, and then double crochet. Then again, I place my hook in, pull up a loop, I make my chain first, and then my double crochet. Again, place my hook into that stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, make my chain, yarn over, pull through 2 stitches. And there's my double crochet chainless foundation. On the one side, you can see your chain foundation. It's beautiful. It looks like a normal chain foundation with a double crochet worked on top of it. And there are my double crochet tops. So what I normally do at the beginning, you can see my first stitch made a little bit of a loop. I just tighten my my tail a little bit just to pull it in a little bit. This is such a time saver, and it's so much more convenient than working with those long chain stitches that you have to then try and place your hook into and place a stitch into. You can count these stitches so much quicker because you don't have to count all those little chain stitches at the bottom. You can immediately count your normal stitch. So when you work those long scarves or long shawls or even blankets, this just works so much quicker to make a chainless foundation. Once you learn how to do it, you would not go back. Just place your hook into that stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through that first loop, yarn over, complete your double crochet. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first loop, yarn over, pull through both loops, yarn over, place into the chain stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, make your chain, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and again yarn over, place your hook into the chain stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the chain, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over, place your stitch into that chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, make your chain, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, place your stitch, your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, make your chain, yarn over, make your double crochet. And there you can see your chainless double crochet foundation. On this side you can see your normal chain stitches, and they look like a normal chain stitch. There is your double crochet, and there's the tops that you would do your normal stitches into. Now to count it, it depends on what your pattern says, whether you count your turning chain or not. And you can see it makes a little bit of a space there. I just pull this tail a little bit tighter, and then there's my chainless foundation. That loop, you just, if your pattern says you count those turning chains or not, then you go and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 14, 15, 16, 17. Now in order to turn around, you do your normal chain stitches, yarn over, and you place your hook into the next stitch, just like you normally would work. If you found this video useful, please remember to like and subscribe.